Imagine you and I are playing a car racing game in VR. And I see this red sports car and, oh, do I like it. My heart rate accelerates a little bit. My skin gets a little more moist and my pupils dilate. Later on, I sign off the game. I go into my email and I start getting targeted emails suggesting that now is a great time to get an auto loan. I go onto my social media and I start getting odd ads for car insurance. The next time I go into that VR racing game, that red sports car goes by, driven by someone who looks remarkably like me. The type of information that I physically gave off when I saw that sports car in our VR game is called digital exhaust. This type of information is gathered by the sensors that are required to make VR and AR hardware function. But it also gives companies a window into the biological and anatomical unique identifiers that indicate my likes, my dislikes, and my preferences. It also gives windows into things that I don't intend to convey, like potentially who I'm sexually attracted to, if I'm telling the truth or not, and whether or not I am likely to develop ailments like ADHD, schizophrenia, Huntington's disease, or Parkinson's disease. I do not consent to give that type of information away when I play a VR racing game. While this sounds like the future, it's now a present reality and not a virtual one. This week, Facebook Reality Labs announced that they were going to start putting advertisements into Oculus games. The pilot has 3 games and they were releasing in May 2021. This move is a turning point for the industry as it brings some of the most controversial aspects of social media into a new medium that has both inspired and provided idealism with alarm. My name is Brittan Heller, and today I'm going to talk to you about 3 things that I think lawmakers, policymakers, and technologists need to understand about the immersive technology industry. Simply put, I'm very worried that we're not ready for this next chapter of spatial computing because the law doesn't cover the inherent risks on how this hardware functions. Number 1, this is not social media. This is not a drill. There has been nothing like this before. As a human rights lawyer and neuro rights advocate, I'm worried about the ability of present law and regulation to accommodate what I see as possible risks in VR and AR. This is because what happens in an immersive environment seems real. And that's because to the user, it is real. When we play a VR racing game together, that implants in my mind in the same way that the hippocampus processes memory. So it's not like sitting on your couch and watching your feed scroll down and interacting with somebody's words and images. It's like inviting them to come in and sit next to you. Because of this, I argue that we should have a higher duty of care for immersive technology and a greater awareness of issues related to consent, privacy, and human rights. All of these together are known as neuro rights. Number 2, this is different because of the way immersive technology hardware works. With the widespread adoption of AR and VR becoming imminent, so does the potential for massive data collection at scale. But what I'm talking about here isn't what we've seen before. It's more akin to the like button on steroids due to the data that the sensors need to run an immersive experience. Even more than smartphones, VR will require a wealth of information about you. For example, in our racing game, my precise head and hand motion were monitored by the sensors. Believe it or not, this is actually as physically identifying as a fingerprint. There were pictures of my environment taken by the cameras. It kept me safe and from running into things, but it also took a picture of my home. There was a recording of microphone audio for voice control. which, while it allowed ease in the user experience, it took an imprint of my voice. Additionally, eye tracking determined what I was focusing on and prevented me from getting motion sickness, but it also provided a window into my physiological involuntary reactions to stimuli. Immersive technology is unique in that it not only tracks your reaction to stimuli in a way that the sensors need to function, but it also creates a record of the stimuli itself. This is potentially highly valuable information to third parties and advertisers, especially because the AR/VR industry hasn't figured out a model for monetization yet. Number 3, existing biometrics law will not save us. Most people, especially other lawyers, are surprised when I tell them that biometrics law does not cover the way that VR and AR hardware works. This is because biometrics under the law is centered around the concept of identity. But you log into your virtual reality headset with your social media account. You buy immersive experiences with your credit card. They know who you are. That's not the issue. What is the issue is your thoughts and your preferences. Immersive devices take biometric data and can potentially make it into something that is more akin to personal data collection. This next level means that existing data streams will be combined with people's demonstrated preferences, their likes and their interests. This will be combined with their biometric data on an ongoing basis. While the personally identifiable nature of biometric information and the risk that creates is often discussed, the way it lends itself to creating deeper, intimate user profiles is not often explored. So biometric information may in fact be the window into immersive users' private thoughts and involuntary feelings. To accommodate for this, I created a concept called biometric psychography. And this captures the level of intimate data that companies may be able to collect on individuals using a combination of biometric data and psychographic data. That's a term that I borrowed from the advertising industry. Biometric psychography is the behavioral and anatomical information used to identify or measure a person's reaction to stimuli over time, which provides insight into their physical, mental, and emotional state, as well as their interests. In our game, the headsets not only paid attention to what I paid attention to, but for how long, with what intensity, and with what specific emotional response that invoked. This could have been conveyed through a combination of tracking my pupil dilation, the movement of my facial muscles, my galvanic skin response, and in some cases, EEGs, EMGs, and ECGs. When people see something they like, their pupils dilate. This offers a simple and easy way to measure what is pleasurable to each individual. It used to only be possible in a lab, but now it's possible with your video game apparatus. This matters because biometric laws are designed to protect identity and not privacy. In these scenarios, the main issues are consent and privacy. The data collected on users may be involuntary data. Unconscious and uncontrollable biological responses will be transformed into data points, and users will no longer actively participate in the collection of data through clicking on links. It's their reaction to stimuli itself that will become the data. Additionally, this hardware is so new. The hardware vocabulary is not solidified yet. We don't have its final form. We don't have social conventions on how to indicate to a bystander that they are being filmed and their actions are being recorded. Bystanders don't have a way to consent or to opt out of the recording process. Additionally, there's no real concept yet of mental privacy. It will make it extraordinarily difficult for users to maintain a sense of personal autonomy and mental privacy if companies are able to create these psychographic profiles to identify a range of things that the user may not ever volunteer. Users have a right to maintain privacy over their internal thoughts, over their feelings, and to guard interests that they don't wish to share with others. This is fundamental to neural rights. In particular, intimate data should not be collected, used, or sold in a way that pits the user against their own best interests. So in conclusion, while immersive AR and VR devices have the opportunity to become the new norms of mobile technology and serve users in novel ways, we need to ensure that data collection serves people and not the other way around. Lawmakers should understand that this is not social media, it's a new paradigm. We should preemptively examine existing laws and enact new laws that make immersive technology safe for users before the technology becomes the new norm and before there is a violation of privacy on a massive scale. We need to stop the red sports car before it takes off. Thank you for having me here today.